In this WrestleTalk news, CM Punk not happy with the Elite after Dynamite jibes. WWE's Money in the Bank plans revealed. Ric Flair WWE Return, and so much more. So subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
Come on, guys, it's time that we all moved on from the all-out brawl situation because the Elite are back in AEW. The matter is seemingly set. Kenny, no, get that out of your mouth. Because the Elite returned to Dynamite for a match against Death Triangle as part of their Best of 7 series, and throughout taunted the Chicago crowd with a series of references to their backstage ruckus with CM Punk and Ace Steel. This included Kenny pilfering Punk's signature taunt, hitting the GTS, and biting Pac's arm, an overt reference to the rumor that Ace Steel bit Omega during the fracas. Now, this obviously didn't go over well with all the die-hard Punk fans in attendance, and reportedly didn't make the people close to Punk happy either, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, who said, "I know that there's people close to CM Punk that were, boy, were they not happy with that 6-man tag match." Now, obviously, the Elite got to take the Michael with no real chance for Punk to shoot back at them now that he's off TV. How does that medicine taste, Punk? Kind of like your own. Getting your own medicine there? I mean, admittedly, the Elite also had a go at Hangman, so that guy can't win, can he? And here's the thing, Punk's camp were always likely to be angry about this, especially with the Elite also saying that they want the matter to be settled and for everyone to just move on, and the fact that seemingly there is nothing further coming out about the brawl, so it's done. Yeah, it's fine, we'll just move on. No, wait, Kenny, don't press send. Don't press send. Ow. Piss. Because Kenny rubbed some more salt in the wound, funnily enough, when referencing the fact that he borrowed CM Punk's finishing move during the match, the go to sleep. Because he sent a tweet to New Japan star and the inventor of the GTS, Kenta, to thank him for lending the move. He said, "Thank you, Kenta, always a good brother, Bullet Club for life, am I right?" Got a little bit of expert level trolling from Kenny there. You can really tell that he's an avid gamer. Kenta then decided to get in on the joke too, tweeting back to say, "You're welcome, but," and included a gif of an encounter between the two where Kenta tells Kenny to shut the up. And here's the thing, if I was Tony Khan, I would also be trying to get him to do that because I would try to nip this kind of behaviour in the bud because it's kind of dominating all of the dialogue about AEW right now. It's like the only thing that people are really talking about, that and how Tony Storm should actually be recognised properly as AEW's women's champion rather than just an interim, because that's stupid. So while it might be fun to poke fun at Punk in matches or to stir the social media pot, it is overshadowing a lot of the work that other people are doing in the company, and ultimately, there are only so many times that you can realistically ride the lightning of legitimate backstage drama before spinning it into on-screen drama that will actually work. I mean, they just about managed to rein it back in with MJF. And one person who thinks this whole situation is a bit S-word is Sean Spears, who said as much during a virtual signing for K&S WrestleFest. He said, "Sad overall. Sad. That's what I think. It's sad. I wish it didn't happen. That's the other thing too. I wasn't there. Most things do happen publicly, but I wasn't there and I don't have any first-hand knowledge, but ultimately, he thinks it's sad. It's sad."
It's the go-home show for Survivor Series tonight, but it's also the final day of Established Titles Week here at WrestleTalk. For this week, Established Titles will be sponsoring the WrestleTalk news, and we get to tell you about the great work they're doing, not just in providing a very cool gift, but their work in helping heal the planet. If you click our link in the description below and use the code WrestleTalk on checkout, you can get an additional 10% off your order, in addition to the huge Black Friday sale they're running. But what are Established Titles? Based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are called lairds, you can make yourself or someone you want to give a gift a lord or lady for realsies. Purchasing a title pack gives the receiver a 1-foot square plot of land in Scotland with a certificate and crest to make their lord or ladyship official, which means you can genuinely update your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles, and anything else with lord or lady before it. And for every purchase, Established Titles works with one tree planted and trees for the future to help global reforestation efforts, which is why we're so happy to have Established Titles Week here at WrestleTalk. The first 200 people to click the link below will have their plot essentially next to mine in Scotland, meaning we can start the WrestleTalk Kingdom and begin our plan to take over the world. And you get 10% off using the code WrestleTalk at checkout too, on top of their massive Black Friday sale. It's been wonderful having Established Titles Week here on WrestleTalk, and to really help us out as well, please do consider clicking that link and using code WrestleTalk on checkout. Title that title.
Now, rumours regarding a shake-up of WWE's premium live event calendar have been well documented since Triple H took charge in the summer, with events such as Day One and Hell in a Cell already casualties of the new regime. However, there is one existing event status that has been up in the air a lot recently, that being Money in the Bank. Because the Money in the Bank match concept isn't itself under any threat of disappearing, but reports have suggested that Triple H is keen on moving the match back to its original home of WrestleMania, and then just scrapping its premium live event namesake in an attempt to purge those gimmick shows that Trips isn't all that keen on. However, a new report from Fightful Select may be set to extinguish these rumours, as according to multiple higher-ups and sources within the creative team, while the Money in the Bank move to Mania isn't impossible, it has not come across their desks yet. But that's not the only Money in the Bank rumour doing the rounds, as despite the match's location being up in the air, there have been rumours that WWE have landed on their choice for the next winner of the men's briefcase in 2023, none other than LA Knight. However, Fightful has once again come in to quash these reports with one of their anonymous sources in WWE stating, "I like LA Knight, but we don't even have definitive plans across the board for months down the line, much less next year's Money in the Bank. If we wanted it on him so bad, it wouldn't have been hard to take Austin Theories to put on him. I've never heard him discussed in the same conversation as Money in the Bank. Not that it couldn't happen, because he's a great performer, but it's not been discussed." What would you think if LA Knight became the Money in the Bank winner next year? Let us know in the comments down below. And while Triple H's regime has seen a lot of returns, there is one former legend who has close ties to the game that is yet to make a comeback, and that is none other than a two-time Hall of Famer, Ric Flair, who has had his last match, but probably hasn't, has he, really? And the thing is, WWE have distanced themselves from Flair in recent years following allegations of sexual misconduct, which surfaced on an episode of Dark Side of the Ring from 2021. And while Flair had stated that he would never return to WWE under Nick Khan, as he believes that it was Khan that removed Flair's woo from the WWE signature, it seems that could be about to change. Because on his latest episode of his To Be the Man podcast, Flair dropped the news that he has been invited to attend two marquee WWE events in January, that being the 30th anniversary Raw show in Philadelphia and the week after at San Antonio's Royal Rumble event. Not only that, but in classic Flair fashion, he has offered to buy drinks for a whole host of WWE legends, such as The Undertaker, John Cena, and Steve Austin. Well, isn't that just another example of never saying never? A saying that Flair must have plastered on his walls at this point if his latest in-ring exploits are anything to go by. Moving on to a current WWE star now, and the almighty Bobby Lashley has been in a bit of a weird spot as of late. Despite seemingly turning heel against Brock Lesnar following their match at Crown Jewel, the past few weeks of Raw have not made this abundantly clear at all. If anything, Lashley has seemingly resumed his kind of face role, only with an extra layer of viciousness added on top. And according to Figure 4 Wrestling Online's Brian Alvarez, Lashley is still listed internally as a babyface despite that post-match attack on Lesnar at Crown Jewel. And with Rollins turning face a few weeks back, it seemed like the roles would reverse and Lashley would instead play heel in their program. However, now Austin Theory has been injected into the feud to take that role, seemingly keeping Lashley on the good guy side for now. One man we haven't seen for quite a while on Wednesdays or Fridays is former two-time TNT champion Scorpio Sky. Now, Sky was featured heavily on TV for the first half of 2022, being aligned with Dan Lambert, an American top team, before winning the TNT championship twice in a feud with Sammy Guevara before dropping the strap to Wardlow in July. Now, Sky has been absent ever since, reportedly dealing with a knee injury prior to his loss. However, some 5 months later, there is still no sign of Sky. So, I guess the question is, what's the latest? Well, according to Fightful Select, Sky is cleared to return and has actually been for quite some time. Despite him being good to go, AEW reportedly has nothing for him creatively at the moment, so as a result, he hasn't made the return just yet. And with Lambert no longer on TV and his former partner Ethan Page aligned with Stokely Hathaway in the firm, there's no real clear path back for Sky, but hopefully, I guess TK's going to figure it out sooner rather than later and get him back on TV. Moving on to another absentee AEW star, and an update has been provided on the now former AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa's likely return date following her back injury. Because according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Rosa is likely to be ready to return around February 2023. Meltzer notes that AEW's initial projections and hopes saw Rosa returning around November-December, which is why they kept the interim title around Toni Storm's 76-day reign. However, given AEW's decision to now scrap the interim title for Jamie Hayter on Dynamite, it becomes quite clear that Rosa isn't as close to a return as they hoped she would be. And Rosa herself has responded to being stripped of the title via her Twitter, thanking her fans and stating, "This is not how I wanted to lose the championship, but you deserve a present champion." So with all of the interim business thankfully behind us, how does AEW plan to deal with future instances of injuries to current champions? Well, according to Dave Meltzer, AEW is not scrapping the interim title idea in the future, with the temporary strap being utilized when an injury is likely to keep a wrestler out for a few months. Meltzer says that more serious injuries for around 6 months or longer will result in a championship being vacated altogether, which kind of makes sense. You want to play it by ear, but you still want to have them belts on the telebobs. And lastly, keeping the injured wrestler theme going, this week's episode of Rampage has seen yet another injury scare occur for AEW. And most tragically of all, it seems to have affected a member of a team that has had a frankly horrendous string of bad luck with injuries, none other than Top Flight. However, this time it was reportedly not affected the long-afflicted Darius Martin, but instead his brother Dante. Because the brothers were competing against FTR in an ROH tag title match for Friday's episode, and according to pictures taken from fans following the match, it appeared that Dante was being attended to by the AEW doctor at ringside. Despite the situation looking a bit dire for Dante and Darius, thankfully a fellow AEW talent provided a much appreciated update on Dante's health via Twitter, with the Acclaim's Anthony Bowens responding to a fan's question regarding the injury, saying that Dante is fine, thankfully. I mean, fingers crossed that is just the case and Dante's injury is not as severe as first feared, as the Martin brothers were finally beginning to build a little bit of momentum following Darius's lengthy absence for much of the year. And we at WrestleTalk would obviously like to extend our well wishes to Dante Martin at this time. Hope you're doing well. And I would like to wish you all well for the weekend. Happy Friday, folks. See you later.
Scripts! That's with a Y. Scripts has debuted on NXT after a month of teases. Oh, we were so excited, mostly excited because of how much everyone's dunking on it on Twitter.
Yeah.
It was a stupid debut.